Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the one you desire, not far away, not distant. And time, but here, with you. Feel their presence, hear their voice, sense their touch. In that moment, there is no longing, no waiting, no separation. Only the knowing that they are already yours. This is not a game of pretending. This is the art of creation. Everything you see in your world was once unseen, a thought, a whisper in the mind, a spark in the heart. What you call reality is nothing more than imagination made visible. That relationship you dream of, that person you want so deeply, already exists in the unseen. When you imagine them beside you, when you hear their voice in the quiet of your mind, when you see their eyes looking into yours, you are touching the real source of creation. The mind does not distinguish between what is physically in front of you and what you vividly imagine with feeling. In that inner scene, they are with you now. Every detail you give to that image, the way they smile, the tone of their voice, the warmth of their presence, is a seed planted in the invisible soil of your consciousness. And just as surely as a seed produces its own kind, your mental picture will unfold in the outer world. It does not matter what has happened before. It does not matter what the current facts appear to be. Those facts are old echoes of previous thoughts, and they have no power unless you give them life again. What matters is what you choose to accept as real in this moment. If you can hold the scene steady in your mind, if you can feel the truth of it deep within, then you are already living in the reality where they are yours. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are living from. To live from the end is to step into the reality where your desire is already fulfilled, and to stay there in thought, feeling, and identity. It means you stop imagining yourself as someone who is waiting, hoping, or chasing, and instead embody the version of you who already has the relationship you desire. When you live from the end, you speak differently, you move differently, your energy shifts. There is a calm assurance in you because the outcome is no longer in question. You are not wondering whether they will choose you in your inner world. They already have. You carry the inner knowing that you are together, and that knowing colors every thought and action. It is not about daydreaming for a moment and then returning to doubt. It is about making that fulfilled state your new home. When you rise in the morning, you greet the day as someone who is already with them. When you lie down at night, you rest in the warmth of the relationship as if it is the most natural thing in the world. In your imagination, there is no gap between you and them. You are living the reality of we instead of longing from the place of me. The assumption is the silent force that shapes your reality. It is the inner decision to accept something as true before there is any outer proof. The moment you assume they are already yours, you shift the entire state you are living from. Your thoughts soften, your heart steadies, and your actions begin to reflect a person who already has what they once desired. When you walk in that assumption, you no longer look for signs of progress because the assumption itself is the sign. You speak to them in your mind as if the bond is already real. You think of the future not as something uncertain, but as something already written in your favor. This is not pretending, it is claiming your truth on the inner level so that it can solidify in the outer. Every time doubt tries to creep in, you return to your chosen state. They are mine, we are together. You don't argue with appearances because appearances will catch up to the story you are telling yourself. The outer world is simply responding to the inner blueprint you hold. When you hold that blueprint with unwavering conviction, the world has no choice but to take the shape of your assumption. Detachment from the how is the release of control over the mechanics of manifestation. It is the deep trust that the way your desire arrives is not your responsibility. Your only role is to dwell in the end, to see and feel the outcome as if it is already complete. The bridge of events that connects you to your desire is not something you need to design, predict, or manipulate. When you obsess over how they will come into your life, you step out of the state of having and back into the state of wanting. The mind begins to calculate, question, and doubt, because it cannot see the infinite ways the unseen can work on your behalf. But when you let go of the need to know every step, you open the door for possibilities far greater than anything you could have imagined. The how belongs to the unseen power that responds to your inner state. It can rearrange people, circumstances, and timing in ways that make your meeting or union inevitable. All that is required of you is the steady knowing that the end is done. When you rest in that knowing, you allow the perfect chain of events to unfold naturally, without resistance, without fear, and without delay. Feeling is the lifeblood of creation. It is not enough to think about your desire, you must feel it alive within you. Thoughts alone remain ideas, but feeling gives them substance, power, and magnetic pull. When you bring the emotion of having into your inner experience, you impress that reality upon your subconscious, and your world begins to shift to match it. If you imagine being with them but feel emptiness or longing, you are affirming the absence. But when you imagine and feel the warmth of their presence, the joy of their love, the safety of knowing they have chosen you, you are living in the state of the wish fulfilled. Your heart believes it is already true, and what the heart accepts as real, the world mirrors back. Feeling is not forced. It comes when you allow yourself to surrender to the reality within. Close your eyes and let the scene unfold until the emotion rises naturally. The laughter you share, the touch of their hand, the look in their eyes. That emotion is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between the invisible state and the physical event. The stronger and more natural the feeling becomes, the more inevitable its outer reflection. The physical world you see right now is nothing more than a mirror of your past thoughts and beliefs. It is a delayed reflection, showing you the results of states you once occupied. To give it power is to keep recreating the same story over and over again. If the outer world shows separation, distance, or absence, that is simply the echo of an old state, not the truth of what is coming. When you choose to ignore the 3D, you are not denying its existence. You are refusing to let it dictate your inner state. You recognize that the facts before you are temporary and subject to change the moment your inner world shifts. You stop reacting to messages that contradict your desire and instead respond to the vision you have already claimed. This is the discipline of staying loyal to the unseen reality over the visible one. You no longer allow a text left unanswered, a social media post, or a lack of contact to shake your conviction. You see beyond the current scene, holding your focus on the world within, the world where they are already yours. And as you persist in that unseen truth, the outer must eventually bend and conform to it. Persistence is the quiet force that turns an inner vision into a tangible reality. It is the decision to remain in the state of the wish fulfilled, no matter what the outer world shows you. You do not plant the seed today and dig it up tomorrow to see if it has grown. You water it daily with your attention, your feeling, your unwavering assumption. When you persist, you refuse to be swayed by temporary appearances. You understand that the outer world often lags behind the inner change, and that this delay is not a sign of failure, but part of the natural unfolding. Each time doubt whispers, you return to your chosen reality. Each time circumstances contradict you, you remind yourself of the truth you have already claimed within. Persistence is not about strain or force. It is about consistency. It is the gentle but firm decision to keep telling the same inner story until it becomes second nature. Over time, your subconscious accepts it as fact. And once that acceptance is complete, the physical world must rearrange itself to match. Nothing can resist a state that is held with steady, unshakable persistence. Who you believe yourself to be determines what you allow into your life. If you see yourself as someone who is waiting to be chosen, you will keep experiencing situations that confirm that identity. But the moment you shift into the version of you who is already loved, already desired, already chosen, everything changes. Your inner state becomes magnetic because it is no longer rooted in lack. It is rooted in possession. If self-identity shift is about embodying the role you would naturally play if the relationship were already real, how would you speak? How would you carry yourself? How would you think about love, about them, about yourself? When you answer those questions and begin to live from that place, you align your entire being with the reality you seek. This is not acting in a superficial way, it is becoming. You don't try to appear confident, you know you are secure because the end is already yours. You don't try to make them notice you, you carry the certainty that you are already noticed. And because the outer world mirrors who you are being, that new identity pulls the matching circumstances, words, and actions from them without effort on your part. And so every thought you hold, every feeling you nurture, every identity you choose is shaping the path beneath your feet. You are not waiting for them to come into your life. You are living in the truth where they are already here. The outer world is only catching up to the reality you have claimed within. Trust your imagination. Live from the end. Assume the bond as fact. Release the how. Feel it until it is real. Ignore the temporary shadows of the 3D. Persist until your vision becomes second nature. Step fully into the identity of the one who already has, and watch how effortlessly they appear in your world. What you desire is not out there somewhere, searching for you. It is already yours, waiting for you to see it as done. And when you do, when you finally stand in the fullness of that truth, the moment will come when you realize they didn't just show up, they were with you all along. You're listening, and thank you for allowing these words to remind you of the power you hold. Your love story is already written. Now live it.